Allegiance to the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy, will you pray for us?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings of this day. We thank you for everything that you have done for this county. Lord, we just ask for your protection and your divine guidance in all that matters to you and for the betterment of this county. We ask all this in thy heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you both.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Welcome to our January 27th Commissioners meeting. We'll get started by approving the minutes of January 20th. I believe both of you had time to review those. If there's no questions or concerns there, can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any comments or questions? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Any comments, questions? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting board minutes,
Any comments or questions on item 5? Hearing none?
Make a motion we accept board minutes.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of communication from Eli Allen requesting to appropriate grave markers bearing decedents' names, dates of birth, and death, if known, be placed alongside existing markers regarding the Scioto County Infirmary Cemetery.
This line item is, we got some communication from Eli Allen. He is a local historian. He runs wanderingappalachia.com. He has done a ton of research on the county infirmary, the county home cemetery, and has documented multiple stories of how people ended up there in that cemetery, and is requesting to be able to go there and put appropriate grave markers down from where they've found these individuals and their stories. Fascinating stuff. I would encourage people to check out his website or even his Facebook page. He's always posting interesting Scioto County history, Appalachian history there, but this line item is giving him our blessing to go there and place some markers.
Mr. Chairman, is it true that he intends to replace numbers with names? Is that kind of what he's trying to do, is actually give a name to the marker?
That is my understanding, even to the point where you could go to the grave and then be able to find that person in their database. And
Good.
if there's stories connected to that individual, you can research that and learn more about those individuals.
Much more dignified.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Department of Taxation regarding permissive sales tax,
This is the permissive sales tax from November 2021. Up from November 20th, there was an increase of $245,055. So clearly our sales tax is still strong and improving. Any comments or questions there? Hearing none.
I'm sorry. So that basically increased our gains in 2021 to 1.75 million, is that right? Is it the way I'm reading that?
That's correct.
Which does highlight the strength of our local economy. It's pretty amazing, actually, what a turnaround. From 2019, the losses that we absorbed from the MCO loss was over $2 million. It was 17% of our general fund revenue, and we turned that around, just so everybody realizes how big of a deal that was. The county was able to turn that around in less than 2 years, which was pretty amazing to do and replace that revenue. So it just shows the strength of our local economy, our business owners, and what everybody's doing entrepreneurially around here, and it's very positive. So just wanted to draw that out.
Great.
So it's a very positive thing. So with that, I would make a motion to accept.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi.
In the matter of resolution congratulating the gaseous diffusion plant in Piketon, Ohio on celebrating its 70th anniversary.
Is there any comments or questions on this resolution celebrating the Piketon Gaseous Diffusion Plant? 70 years.
Well, go ahead.
No.
No.
Ladies first.
I'm just, I'm proud and thankful of the time that has been. My father was in on the very beginning of that, and he was one of the first to be hired. So, and he worked there his whole life until the late 80s. So, I have a little history there. Of course, with that diffusion plant, and then in my past job with Home Construction, we had many contracts out there. We had many workers out there, and supply jobs for many people in income, and I'm just appreciative of what they've done through the years, and the cleanup is amazing as well to make it a better place now that it's no longer not up and running.
For now. I will say, I would like to make sure that the record reflects that it is the Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plant, not the Piketon Gaseous Diffusion Plant. And that the resolution shows that 70 years of history at that site. I think there's a lot of pride in the fact that it was built here by local labor. Of course, a lot of other labor came in to help build it. I believe at the height of the construction, there was over 25,000 people that were involved in the construction of the plant. And then the operating of the plant through various contractors over the years, Goodyear, Lockheed Martin, others, Martin Marietta, others that did that. And of course now with the decommissioning and decontamination that's going on through Florida BWXT, it is a testimony to the technical know-how of the workers in our area, the expertise of that work that was done. Uranium enrichment isn't exactly something you do normally. It does take a certain skill set to do it, and literally thousands and thousands of Cold War patriots went through that plant, worked in that plant, and in some cases endangered their lives to make sure that we had a viable resource for enriched uranium for our nuclear triad. It is a testimony to our community, to our educational facilities, establishments such as Shawnee State that's with us here today, the number of people that have actually gone through Shawnee State and actually found work, jobs at the plant. And now, even today, even though the old plant is being taken down, we have Centrus working at the American Centrifuge plant, testing new state-of-the-art centrifuges with hopes that the commercial plant will be built in Piketon in the near future to replace the old plant while the old plant's being taken down. So a lot of work being done there. There's over 1,100 SOTA counties that work at the plant today, which is probably one of our largest employers. And these are not low-paying jobs; these are high-paying jobs. And our hope is that while we celebrate the 70th anniversary, we also look toward the future of 2037, and that is the reindustrialization of the site, whether that be a DOE facility, whether that be a private facility, whatever it might be. That we're always looking toward the future and making sure that we have our eye on that ball. And it's something as local leaders we do. We do a lot of lobbying. We do it in Washington and of course elsewhere to make sure that we are always viewing this. Robert, you sit on the SODI board out there. You know very well about the diversification and what they're trying to do out there. But very proud of what's happened, but always mindful of what has to happen in the future. 2037 is right around the corner. It literally is right around the corner when you think about projects and how long it takes to make things happen. And we have to have our eye on that ball, and I know that they are. And we're hoping to actually ramp that up too in a more appreciable way and have Scioto County more and more involved in that process. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out. I know there's a whole lot, and our clerk's probably going to hate to have to type all that out, but I think it's important. 70 years is big. It's a big deal, and we should be very proud of this. We should as a community.
I appreciate those comments from both of you, and thank you to the Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plant. Happy 70th, it's a hard one. And in respect for our clerk's carpal tunnel possible, that's all the comments I have.
I love you.
Is there any other comments or
Don't hurt
questions?
me later.
Comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of approving the final plans and authorizing the clerk to advertise notice to bidder for 2021 Scioto County Road 540, 0.53 Barclay Road Extension 2 regarding the Scioto County engineer.
This continues our economic development out at the SOAR Business Park to extend Barclay Road and to continue building out the park and making us have a viable piece of property for investment, for development. You have to have the infrastructure there before some of these companies will even look at sites. Appreciate all the work Director Horton's put into this, Economic Development Director Robert Horton. He's working tirelessly on the spec building and of course the other projects that are swirling around out there, and this is just another piece of the puzzle to be able to better market the park. Any other comments or questions?
It should be good to note that Darren LeBrun did all of these designs, and the county engineer LeBrun, and we appreciate probably about $150,000 worth of engineering done from his office right here. So appreciate their efforts.
Absolutely. Any other comments? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in the total amount of $167,799.94.
Any comments or questions on item 10? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of grant contract for elderly and disabled transit fare assistance program between the Scioto County Board of Commissioners and the State of Ohio Department of Transportation regarding Access Scioto County.
This is a grant amount in the amount of $4,702 for fiscal year 22 from July 1st to June 30th. And the grant allows a fare offered for elderly and people with disabilities, which is no greater than 1/2 the regular adult fare. I just want to mention we appreciate all the work ASC does in getting our most vulnerable and elderly population to where they need to go, getting them to their needed and required medical appointments. They're doing a great job over there, and I don't have it pulled up, but they just won an award too. They were just
Yes.
recognized for an award, and shame on me for not having that in front of me, but
It's working through COVID, basically.
Yeah.
They never stopped. They
That's
just
right.
kept on supplying transportation during COVID. And it was a ODOT award for doing that.
so we appreciate all the efforts of ASC. Are there any other comments or questions on item 11? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion that we approve that grant.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution for the expenditure of American Rescue Plan fiscal recovery funds regarding revenue replacement.
Okay, so there's been a lot of interest around ARPA funds. It has been a moving target in terms of what we can and can't use funds on. The county received $14.2 million. Final rule came out just within the past couple weeks that allows for municipalities to claim up to $10 million of their whatever they were given as revenue loss or revenue replacement rather, without going through a calculation to show it. You can just automatically claim $10 million if you had $10 million. If you got $5 million, you could claim the 5. But what this does is allows us to take $10 million from the ARPA funds we've received and will receive, put it into a separate fund where we can use it towards government services, and it's not as restrictive as the initial ruling for the ARPA funds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt?
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of adopting the Scioto County Federal Procurement Conflict of Interest Policy,
This resolution is essentially connected to the previous resolution. It's a procurement conflict of interest policy, that we can't use those funds to benefit ourselves, and of course, we never will.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Okay, that's all on the agenda.
That's all the items on the agenda. Before we go to questions, we are pleased to have representatives from Shawnee State University. President Jeff Bowers here.
instead of those students after graduation going off into other places, that we can continue to hold on to some of that brain power and that creative power in Portsmouth to help develop and further create growth in the area. And then in the end, obviously, to create that safe and attractive area for everyone, for the community, for our students, our faculty, staff, as well as those on the outside that we hope to bring in. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. First off, let me say thank you. Had it not been for Shawnee State, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I didn't go to school at Shawnee, but I did take part in the Upward Bound program that was administered through the TRIO Center. And I'm a first-generation college student. It was through that program that they helped me get into college and do a FAFSA and, you know, do all the things you need to do. So thank you for that, because I do attribute, you know, me going to school and higher education because of Shawnee. So thank you for that. Secondly, thank you for being mindful of how the college connects with the community. There's always the risk. College I went to, we called it the Ivory Tower. You just kind of existed within campus, and there was really no interaction to the outside community, or seemingly. So thank you for being mindful for that. It's such a needed aspect of the campus, I think. Like you said, you had 3,500 captive audience on any given day. How do we capture that within the local economy to help the local businesses? And once again,
Two on here, but there's
there's
a
three.
third one.
There's
And
gonna
by
be
the way,
a third.
I am remiss, I should have introduced you. This is our Director of Facilities, Butch Kottkamp, our Vice President for Advancement, Eric Braun. And they're playing certainly a very important role in trying to pull this together and to move things forward. Butch has been, he's been envisioning this for many, many years. And so we're really hopeful we can move forward quickly with it.
I actually started my career in one of those buildings, like appliance and TV.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I remember, yeah.
And that's probably the last really functioning activity that went on in that building.
Yeah.
And we've taken them in the last 10 years, and we tried to find some things to do with them, but when we got them, they were in such a bad shape. That investment to get them up to a standard that the university can use this facilities is just too much for that layer right now.
That's one of the questions I've had from some people is, and it's just where it needs to be communicated to the public. You know, some people say, well, why can't you just rebuild them like they are doing down in 2nd Street? And my understanding is they are too far gone. And structurally, they're not safe, and we need to move beyond it.
So we almost lost the vice president in one of those buildings.
I heard somebody went through one of the floors, yes. Is he here, or, yeah? Yeah, I think so.
He made it.
Yeah, he made it, he's alive, so.
We've got to get people to understand, you know, our history is very important. It
Sure.
really is. And that's part of the attractiveness to me, important is that we have these old structures. But we also have to understand on the building side that you can make them completely out of reach. You know, you go in and do it right.
Right.
And try to save these structures. They simply do not economically work. You can't get the backing for it, tanks won't run because you're upside down on your nose. So with that being said, that's where we also have to train some of the ones, I think, and put it in their minds, you know, that it's okay to tear the old down. When you rebuild it, and this would be part of the city building department possibly, you come back and go, okay, this is what we want it to look like, your facades, when it's rebuilt. And you just hold that, but you build a new structure, but it still has our old history, the look. And it's not hard to do. Then these projects become more attractive to developers.
Well, clearly the downtown has plenty of storefronts beyond these three that
Yes.
can be developed. We're not really we're not going to lose too much in that. You're
Right.
right.
And it's interesting, I've had a woman reach out to me, and, just in the last week, about doing the arts district, and she's wanting to open up a art store, supply store, specifically art supply. I think Toy Town used to do it, I think the university would, you know, get its students to buy locally, and they kind of kept stock for the items that they need. And in order to do that now, I think we got people going to Huntington, Chillicothe, and she mentioned that she's also alumni, but she mentioned that she's probably going to reach back out to see if maybe that same synergy could be done if she does the store. So I'm trying to look into ways to help her get the store created. So it's interesting. I mean, that's what needs to happen.
Well, Robert, you just touched upon something really important, and I'm sure that you hear this all the time, where, you know, we have had literally thousands of people go through Shawnee State University over several decades, and some of those people stayed, some people left the area. You know, I have 2 graduates from out of Shawnee State University. Both have wonderful careers. They're not here. They want to be. One couple does. They really want to come back bad. They are working on that as we speak. And the reason they want to come back is they are seeing these things. They are seeing exciting projects happening, and the cost of living here is good, raising a family here is good. They're seeing all these benefits, and they're like, you know what, we want to come home. We want to be part of the Renaissance. We want to be part of the rebuilding, you know, and creating entrepreneurial opportunities and entrepreneurship. What you are doing is just amazing. The other thing I want to touch upon is on the buildings. Shawnee State is doing what they can, where they can, on maintaining the older building. You know, the great example is the Crick Renovation Hub. What you're doing there, that is an old building, but it made sense to be able to do that one, to rebuild it, because it had a good, firm, probably concrete throughout.
It was recently renovated,
Yeah.
in much better condition than these buildings.
Right.
Right.
So you're able to do more with that. You actually have something you can work with, where these other buildings are just, they're too far gone. And so you're doing what you can, where you can, to maintain and try to preserve. But in some cases, it just does not make sense. And if it is going to be an innovation area, innovation speaks to the word new, you know, new development. So I appreciate the forethought you all are putting into this. It's healthy. It's good. So, all right.
Any other comments or questions?
I would just like to say that I'm so grateful and appreciative of the dedication that you have put back into the Portsmouth Community College, and I really appreciate it. And everyone who had any part in it. And your vision for the portal is amazing. It's something we needed so long, and I can't wait to see the complete project.
And by the way, I have 3 children that graduated from Shawnee State also, so I know exactly what Commissioner Davis is saying. If you see them go, it's not that you don't want to hold them back, but at the same time, you just kind of wished at some point that there was something more available for them here, so that you could keep them closer than what they are right now.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Is there any timelines that you
Well,
can
you know,
share?
the Cricker Hub obviously is going on as we speak. As far as the 3rd Street reopening, I think the intention right now is this summer that we'll begin using some local dollars to start to create, enhance the 3rd Street part that's on campus. We still are looking for some funding for the portal area, and we're also trying to partner with our friends in the city to get things moving along the roadway there. That's going to be so critical in making this whole thing come together.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank
No,
you
it's
very
my
much.
understanding you'll be presenting to the land bank in hopes for some remediation funds to tear down those buildings. Since my peers here are on the land bank, I'm not going to ask them for a vote of support because they're going to have to figure that out amongst that.
We're only 2 of 5.
Amongst that board.
2 of 5.
But I will tell you personally that I hope they figure out a way to assist with this project that's worthwhile and be an added welcome as you're coming across the bridge to be able to see something new and exciting as you're entering the city. So thank you so much for your vision.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Question? I know you came in for a question today.
Ross Hamilton.
Ross Hamilton,
Yes.
feel free to step up and.
Apologize to all of you for not maybe being as good a speaker as my predecessor there.
No, that's all right.
I think what we want to ask you
Can you speak into the mic so people at home can hear?
I think what we want to ask you now sort of falls in line with everything that they presented at Shawnee State, commissioners, and what the city's doing. And it involves the drug rehabs that we have. And I think, in my opinion, anyway, it's a sad situation we have in Southern County, the drug situation. With a population of 75,000 people, we have, I believe, it's 56 rehab facilities. And that's probably more than some of the major metropolitan cities. And I think one of the commissioners, I believe, might be you, Mr. Davis, attended a meeting, a commissioner's meeting somewhere, and the commissioner brought it up, because someone was talking about the drug rehabs, and he sort of laughed, and he said, no problem with Southern County.
Mm-hmm.
And they are.
It's true.
And it needs to stop. I think, I don't know how to stop it other than when people come to Southern County, maybe they have to have a 12-month residency before they qualify for any of our fundings through the Department of Jobs and Family Services. But it seems like everybody wants to send them to Southern County. And I think it's a blight that we need to address. And I know the trustees in our townships had no authority, and my understanding is your guys' hands are pretty well tied. I think it's going to take, for the lack of a word people don't want to hear, zoning, to give some bite to it. These rehab facilities and group homes for them, they're just opening up wherever they want. Buy a piece of property, open it up, and go to business. And their success rate's around 4%. So the success rate's not there. And I've talked to people that have these facilities in their neighborhoods, they're not the least bit happy. And the people building these facilities are not putting them in their neighborhoods where they live, they're putting them in other people's neighborhoods. And I, for one, don't want them in my neighborhood because it's a blight on my community, my neighborhood. It does devaluate our property. I don't know other than the state pharmacy board, I think regulates it. Who else to address other than Mr. Baldridge and Mr. Johnson, but the city of Portsmouth had enough light, they put a moratorium on it. Now, recently, we've had a couple pop up in the county because we can't do nothing about it. And I'd like to ask the county commissioners to look into it, which I believe you have. And I'd like to see a moratorium before any of them are out and open, and the group homes. And I'll give you an example of a situation. I was talking to a person, and he was very irate about a group home that was very near to him. And he said, this is a joke. He said, all hours of the night, there's people coming in and out there, out of the group home. They got people, the opposite sex showing up. They're exchanging stuff out there. He said, I don't know what they're exchanging, but they're exchanging something. But yet when I talk to the facility, they say, oh, they're not allowed to do this. We have rules and regulations. And he says, they're not going by rules and regulations. I see it here all hours of the night. When the facility has no one there to supervise them. And, it brings an element into the neighborhood. These people need help. And they need to get off of the drugs of choice, whatever it is. And I have compassion for them to get off of it. They're in a situation, but we can't afford to let them bring this into our communities where we didn't have these problems before, because when you have one in your neighborhood, these people, most of them have no source of income. And I'm not going to say they would, but there's a likely chance they might bust into your car, your garage, your house when you're not at home to get a few bucks just to go get them what they want. And I think it's time that we as a community, we put a foot down and say enough's enough. And I've encouraged people to go to the trustees meetings. I've encouraged them to come to here. And the general attitude is, won't do any good. Well, for lack of a better term, I'm going to start and get up.
It's all right.
I'm 71 years old and a veteran. My kids had to move away from here for jobs. I see what's going on. There's hope. I keep that. I tell my kids, hey, what's changing, so the county's changing. And that hope's there. It might not happen in my lifetime. I hope it will for my grandkids and great-grandkids.
Here, here.
And I would just like to see something done about it. I'd love to set a moratorium right now before it gets too much out of control. I know too, one that's recently began construction, and just, I'm just at a loss of words how I feel about it. So I'm here to ask you to please do what you can for the county and for the citizens of the county. That's all we did. So, regarding me, what do I need to do other than call on Mr. Baldridge and Mr. Johnson, which I've called Mr. Baldridge several times about different subjects, and he was receptive of everything. Really, you know, the county as a whole, I'm not dropping the whole load on you guys, but I'm talking about the citizens in the county, the city, the college. We all need to step up and say, we demand, we're not asking, we demand. We demand better. We're part of the state of Ohio. We demand to be treated better than this. We demand that these other counties and cities don't send their problem to us, because it's burdening us and our tax and our money that we have to spend in our county, because we have to direct it somewhere else. It could be maybe use somewhere else to help us grow better. Thank all of you for your time.
Well, look,
Thank you.
Mr. Hamilton, thank you for coming in. We share your concerns. We've been talking about this, at least as long as I've been around. I'm sure you both have been talking about it as well. The changes at the state level, we've talked to Representative Baldridge, Senator Johnson, and they agree. So they're working hard to see what angles are in Columbus and what laws could be changed or passed. So they're working on some things. I would just encourage people to reach out to them and lobby your state representatives, because that's where the code, that's where the regulation lives. It doesn't live here with the county commissioners. The city can put a moratorium on it, but they can't change how these places get certified or licensed. All of that rule and regulation lives in Columbus. So I would encourage everybody to engage with your elected officials in Columbus. We do constantly. I had a conversation with Representative Baldridge just yesterday or the day before. I know Commissioner Davis has been speaking with Senator Johnson as well on this topic. We share your concerns. We are working from our vantage point and our basically contacts to see what is there that we can do. We're not anti-rehab, we're anti-bad rehabs. Yeah, so so we're working on it. We share your concern. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what you said is exactly how a lot of people feel. We hear this, and you worded it perfect. You really did. We are seeing now an overflow into the county. We have a lot of citizens concerned about that. we can't fault the city for what they did. I mean, you have issues. When you're running a commercial interest out of a residential house, that's against the zoning. That's all there is to it. And they have made up their mind we are going to enforce that. And there is a lot of concern. There is a lot of crime that's happening. They can deny it, but it's happening. It is. So we need to have a real, robust conversation as a community, just like you said, as far as what we will permit to be in our community and what that looks like. We're not anti-rehab. We're not in any way, shape, or form. There are people, like you said it very compassionately. They need help. We've been fighting this opioid epidemic for over a decade, longer than that now. And unfortunately, this thing has tentacles. We went from the pill mills to now to where it's you name it. I mean, it's everywhere from fentanyl to carfentanil to heroin to you name it. It's everywhere. And this isn't just a Scioto County problem. This is a problem all across our state, but the problem is a lot of it is being funneled down here. It is. We have rehabs that are actively going and soliciting common police courts throughout the state to send their people to Scioto County for rehabilitation. Now, I don't care to take care of our own people, and this is something I have conversed multiple times with our legislators about. I don't care to take care of our own people, but we should not be the go-to place for the entire state of Ohio. We have invested locally, a lot of people have invested locally, heavily, in building out an infrastructure to take care of our people. They did that over a matter of years. But now we're building out an infrastructure to take care of the entire state of Ohio, where other counties need to step up, other communities need to step up and do their own. That is the truth. And we're talking about how do we make that happen, because the last count, I think it was 56 or 57, 17 corporations now. That's inside the city limits. 17 corporations. That, you know, when you talk about need, is that a need, or do we just have people going from place to place to place to place to place, opening up, making money, not really, in some cases, taking care of the mental health aspect of this disease, that, you know, you get them into MAT, medically assisted treatment, and then they just sit there and spin. And they're on MAT forever and ever and ever and ever, but you never get to the core of the issue, the mental health aspect that caused them to become dependent in the first place. There are companies that are taking advantage of people and not doing what they should do. I'm not professional on it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not that person. But I tend to believe I know enough about it now that we do have companies out there that are not doing right by our citizens and the citizens of the rest of the state of Ohio. So we're looking at a lot of things here. We're talking to our elected officials. Chairman Powell is 100% correct. Our elected officials in Columbus need to hear from us in a big way, because the bottom line, and I said it last week in this meeting, they need ammunition. Representative Baldridge, Senator Johnson need ammunition to go to their committees, to go to their leadership in the Ohio Senate and the Speaker of the House and say, this is happening in this community. We need help. We need common sense legislation to oversee this. There's to be able to open up a facility is so easy. You don't have to prove justification, number one, need, and then you also don't have to prove whether or not you're competent. I mean, it's just anybody can do it. So that's really not the answer that we need. We need competent people that can do, and we have those here. We do. There are companies that can do it, but this needs to be looked at on many, many levels, and we really want to have that conversation. We can't pass law in this room. We sure can enforce it once it's passed, and that has to happen. So we need to contact our senators. As you mentioned, we need to contact our representatives, tell them what's happening, tell them that you're behind them in any effort. And they are. Terry and Brian, Senator Johnson, Representative Baldridge are behind making common sense changes to the way things are done. We've talked to the Ohio Mental Health Advisory Board, and they are actually the ones that are actually in charge of the rehabs. We've talked to them about what's happening down here. And as a matter of fact, in some ways, they were appalled about what they heard. It was almost like they didn't realize just how big of a thing it's become. And we need common sense changes, and we need to listen to our citizens. And I think that they just need the ammunition. In other words, you call them and you blow up their phones, they're going to have that ammunition to go and say, look what's happening down here. Because without that, they go empty-handed and they're like, we have a problem, prove it, quantify it and everything else. So if you do what you're proposing, and everybody does that, they can qualify and quantify the statements and get the attention we need. We need the attention drawn to this area as far as what's happening. And everybody's more than happy to funnel all their people down here.
Sure.
They're more than happy to do that. But I have said it for years. Probably saying more than I should say. But the bottom line is this. Our courts are overran. Our law enforcement is overran. Our EMTs, our EMS are overran. Quadruple calls of overdoses for the Portsmouth Fire Department. They're overran. Other EMSs throughout this community are overran. They're already shorthanded. A lot of it is overdoses. So is what we are doing, is it working? No. The answer is no. We need to look at what we're doing and determine what can change, what needs to be done to really help people that are addicted. It shouldn't be a money-making proposition. Lives should not be a money-making proposition. I mean, these are souls. These are people that need help, and they need real help, common sense help, compassionate help, mental health help. Long term, yeah, it can't be short term. That doesn't work in addiction. So we need that conversation in our community. Thank you for coming. I appreciate your concerns and your statements.
Okay. Couple of questions.
And Mr. Hamilton, I want to be mindful of time, and I want to get to your question. We have a hard stop at 10:30 because we have our bid openings and our engineers here, so I just want to be mindful of time, okay? All right.
I know the Department of Jobs and Family Services, which does our food stamps, welfare system, Medicare, Medicaid, so forth. Is there any way that you don't have any authority or can get authority from the state government to say, hey, establish a residency in Soto County for say 6 months or a year before they qualify anything to slow down the people coming from out of town in here? And the second part of the question is, these corporations or businesses that are opening up for rehabs and group homes, they have, in my opinion, no respect. I'm not aware of any of them that's went to one township and say, hey, we're going to build a facility over here, what do you think? Or has any of them ever come to county commissioners with their building plans or anything? And I think that says a lot about how disrespectful they are for the people in our community. Thank you guys for your time.
No, we thank you for your time. And real quick on your question, we don't set the rules and guidelines for JFS on benefits. That's not in our purview. Once again, that's a conversation we can have with leadership in Columbus and our representatives. And you're right, it would be nice if these organizations would come to, whether it be the commissioners or city council or the trustees, to see what the feedback is. I can guarantee you they already know what it is without showing up, and that's why they're not. They probably already know they're not going to be welcomed with open arms. It is 10:30 on the dot. Do we have any comments from either?
We'll take them later. We got to do this first.
We got to do it first?
Yep.
Okay.
Then we'll circle back.
Since we're under a time constraint, I have one, you said you wanted to do something, but I had maybe some ideas that might help you get started in your,
Heard you say,
calling out, you said that you asked for something.
Let's start with Prince and Prince. I have one. Turn to our engineer, Darren LeBrun. We have some bid openings
Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
And this is a time-sensitive bid opening.
Yeah,
so that's why
10:30.
we're 10:30 on the dot.
Yep.
It's 10:31. We're kind of on time.
Give
So-
everybody a little bit more chance for their last second
For
bid.
the last second bid, if there's anybody out at the door.
To sell tickets.
See you guys.
Thank you again.
Thank you. See you guys.
Okay, so our first bid opening is going to be for Clinton Furnace Road Slip Repair, County Road 9, 3.45, FEMA Project 99581 for the Sauter County Engineer.
Okay, so just a little bit about this. These slips are from a 2019 rain event, so get a little bit of age on them. These funds do come from FEMA, so it's 100% grant, the engineering and the construction. So this is federal money that we're using that's coming through the state.
First one's from the Ryder Company.
Okay, this is from the Ryder Company in Columbus, Ohio. $344,000 even. 344.
The next one's from W.E. Smith Construction.
Okay, this bid is for the, I think, Tick Ridge. Janice, okay, so I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna put it back in an envelope, and we'll open it next. Put it right back in here.
And we'll have one for this one.
Yeah, they're a little bit mixed up.
Yeah.
So
That's for the other one?
yeah, that's for Tick
Sorry.
Ridge, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Clinton Furnace Allard Excavation.
Okay, Allard Excavation LLC from South Webster, Ohio, $381,608, 381,608 even.
Clinton Furnace, Ohio, West Virginia Excavating.
Okay, Ohio, West Virginia Excavating. I can't see the town there. It is from Ohio. $344,253.50. 344,253.50.
And the next one's from DGM Incorporated. Sorry. DGM.
Okay, DGM Incorporated from Beaver, Ohio, $332,000 even, 332,000.
And all the rest of them are from Tick Ridge. So that is all
That's all the bids. Okay.
for Clinton Furnace.
Yep.
So that concludes Clinton Furnace.
Okay.
The next one is for Tick Ridge. Is it
Just Tick Ridge.
Tick Ridge?
Tick
Road
Ridge.
Slip Repair, County Road 42, 0.14 FEMA Project 99569.
Now, this project here is one that we actually had some back and forth with FEMA. They originally weren't going to approve it, but the folks with FEMA were good to work with. These numbers are going to be quite a bit larger, so
And this is the W.E. Smith Construction.
we're pretty happy to be able to get this project bid out. So this is W.E. Smith from Blanchester, Ohio, $883,000 even, 883,000.
Next one is from Allard Excavation LLC.
Okay, Allard Excavation LLC from South Webster, Ohio, $942,902 even, 942,902. 902.
The next one is from Allied Construction LLC.
Okay, Allied Construction LLC, West Union, Ohio, $976,838.71, 976,838.71.
The next one's from DGM Incorporated.
Okay, DGM Incorporated from Beaver, Ohio, $1,014,000 even, 1014000.
The next one's from Ohio West Virginia Excavating Company.
Okay, Ohio West Virginia Excavating, $929,276.50, 929,276.50.
The next one's from Shelley and Sands Incorporated.
Shelley and Sands Incorporated from Columbus, Ohio, $990,995.00, 990,995 even.
The next one's from Allen Stone Company Incorporated.
Let me find it here. This is like having a test that I'm not doing very well on right now.
Can't find a dollar value?
What's that?
Can't find a dollar value?
Well, yeah, it's on a piece of paper.
It's in
I just
there?
need to find that piece of paper. It is good to get several bids on these projects. We do appreciate the bids we've gotten. It looks like they're very competitive. We look forward to getting these projects done. Still looking. Is this the last bid we have, Jen?
I have one more.
Okay. You know, some of this federal stuff, we've got a lot of paperwork that we have to have submitted with the bid, so that, there it is. Here we go. Just, everything's like it needs to be. Okay, so Allen Stone Inc. from Vincent, Ohio, $926,500 even, 926,500.
And this is the last one, and it is from Skeens Excavating and Reclaim.
It's on top. This is a little easier. Kind of on top. Yep, second. All right, so Skeens Excavating Inc. from Wheelersburg, Ohio, $925,000 even, 925,000.
That is it. If I can just get a motion to accept the bids and refer to Darren.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi, I just want to thank you, Engineer LeBrun. We had opportunity to come out to Garage earlier in the week. Very impressed with the operations there, especially the guys in the back.
Yeah.
They do a heck of a job, kind of showing how they get equipment and rehab it. So we appreciate all that you do.
That's where the magic
county.
is.
That's where the
That's
magic's at, in the
That's where
back.
the magic
It's
is.
in the bag.
In the back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, Ethan's from the front, so he's gonna say,
Our youngest visitor.
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's good to have you guys out, and our guys do, this stuff here, we did get a geotechnical engineer for the design on these slips, but we still put the documents together, so Ethan's a part of that team. We had $1 million worth of consulting work on that table that you guys saw, so I'm proud of that. These are federal funds coming through the county, so, we will have some, temporary construction jobs, and it's scattered throughout the county, so we're happy to try to get as much infrastructure work done as we can, but also it has an economic impact as far as on our economy, so we're happy to do it and appreciate the work that you guys do to make it easy for us to get things passed and give us advice when you think we need it. So but yeah, we were happy to have you guys out. It was great. So,
That was great, and I real quick, because I know we
Yeah,
we're
you
tight,
guys got good.
very tight. The savings on what you've done with equipment. A lot of people don't realize, and what was astounding to me is how you could take a $6,000 truck, salt truck, maybe in some cases wasn't even a salt truck to begin with,
Yep.
and take that and turn that into a salt truck, a vehicle, not just for salt, but also for other use, and save the amount of money you've saved. And when we talk about that, you take a $7,000 truck that you buy, it's used, but then refurbish that, and to buy new would have been $180,000, $190,000. And the savings that the taxpayers are seeing as a result of that work, because of the skill sets of the people that work there in our county garage, it's a testimony. It really is to the efforts that are being made by elected officials such as yourself, and then your crew in the back, and then the ones up front that save so much money for the taxpayers and doing a lot of the engineering just in the Barclay Road 2 project. We
Yeah.
were talking about this morning how much money the county saved because you did the engineering,
Yeah.
and if we had contracted that out, it would have been so much more. People don't realize that out in the county what you're doing, and it was exciting to see that. And it's too bad, maybe you ought to consider doing an open house in the spring or summer.
We've thought about it
And,
with COVID, it's kind of,
Sure.
put a little bit of a damper on that, but I do think we have a great crew really, and good people. And it's the type of people that you don't mind your family to be around. So, I don't care to have my family around the folks that work at the engineer's office. So I've been places where I wasn't as comfortable with my family being around some of the people, not here in DeSoto County, of course, but anyway, we have good people that work there, and they care about their jobs, and it's easy to have a stereotype of what you think may or may not go on at certain locations. So, if people have questions, they're more than welcome to call. We can't do a tour, like have 50 people scattered, but if you want to come out and look, I don't care at all to show you, call ahead of time. But we're happy to have people come out and see what we do, and I do feel like they do a good service for the county. Our guys show up early. A lot of times they stay late. They're on call 24 hours a day, a lot of the supervisors. So, but it was great to have you guys out there to see firsthand, what our guys do out at the garage. So appreciate those kind words.
And then your collaboration with the townships, what you're doing there, saving them money as well. Now the city,
Yeah.
what you're doing there as well. And the fact that, just last time when we got snow, you had 18 plows running.
Yep.
411 miles of highway. That stretches from here to Raleigh, North Carolina. Amazing. A lot of people don't realize that many miles.
He took notes. See, he listened.
That's
Yeah, I see you smiling.
I've heard these
I see you
statistics for
smiling.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust me, I've memorized these statistics.
Yeah.
But that is an amazing feat. And when people think about, I wish they'd plow my road, I wish they'd get there faster, we hear that. But they need to understand, we have a lot of miles. Is it the 6th most miles, county miles of any county in the state of Ohio? Something like that. It's
We're a
way
top
up there.
10, and
Yeah.
we're a top 10 in bridges, and we have a lot of infrastructure. Like I say, our guys do a good job. The Miles Road, if you go to Outer Banks on vacation, we talked about, if you stack our roads up, just the centerline miles, you can go from Walmart, New Boston, all the way to the south side of Raleigh. on I-40, and that's pretty incredible when you think about that. So whenever we do snow patrols, when we plow, it takes, 7 to 8 hours if we're plowing both ways. So it takes a while, but we try to get as many trucks out there, try to keep it safe for our drivers. And we spent approximately $133,000 on salt this year, just on salt for treatment. So, but anyway, yeah, if somebody has questions, they're more than welcome. You guys are more than welcome to come back out too. I might not want to deal with you guys, but anyway, we'll have somebody talk to you. So, no, it was great having you guys out. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to see what our guys do. Thanks.
Thanks so much. And being thoughtful of time, and you guys have a meeting that you're already late to. Is there any quick additional comments? No comments? No comments? I'm sure there's probably questions online. We will look at those when we get a chance to. Unfortunately, we have to get my counterparts to the land bank meeting. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, that's fine. Great.
Is that okay?
Yep. We're good.
Thank you.